So Babs, I'm so glad you mentioned that you've been crying a lot tonight because I'm going to struggle to get through this part, I think, without a little bit of emotion. But as I'm always telling the leadership team, vulnerability is a leadership value. So I hope you will allow me to be a little bit vulnerable right now because we have a bit of a surprise award that only a few folks know about. And this is a special award that we only give out in exceptional cases and isn't necessarily always given out annually. It was created in honor of Dr. Arnie Widen. So it's the Dr. Arnie Widen Award. And it is my absolute honor this year to present it to our very own Dr. Babs Waldman, who has been exceptional.
Okay, enough is enough. Okay.
Got you.
You're gonna let me do this, Babs. Put yourself back on mute. Put yourself back on mute.
Okay, I will.
So this is in recognition of Babs's, Dr. Waldman's steadfast, steady, brave, incredible, exceptional leadership this year. So I think we all know that Dr. Waldman is a rock star and a badass. That is no surprise to anybody who knows Dr. Waldman. But the way that she has served this organization and our patients this year has been remarkable. And for me, being in my first CEO role in my first year, Dr. Waldman was my ride or die this year. And that's a millennial term, Babs. I'll explain it to you later. But in addition to continuing her patient care, both in person and telemedicine based, Dr. Waldman was alongside the leadership team from day one. And what does that mean? And I don't know if everyone truly grasps what that means, but we had daily meetings. The information intake throughout the first few months was so intense. It was like drinking from a fire hose. And we had daily meetings, sometimes twice daily meetings. And Dr. Waldman was at every single one of them, helping us make the right decisions to keep our staff safe, to keep our patients safe, and to keep our doors open. And when we first started telehealth, Dr. Waldman literally reviewed probably thousands upon thousands of charts to help us decide, could this person be moved to a telemedicine visit? Did they need to be seen? Could we just give them a refill? I mean, the administrative lift, it sounds like it's admin work, but it made sure that our patients could stay healthy. It made sure our patients had their medication. It made sure our patients did not have to travel unnecessarily in the height of that first surge of the pandemic. She also helped lead us through developing the appropriate safety protocols. And she actually wrote a number of the safety protocols herself so that the staff could focus on what they needed to do. And then she rewrote them because they kept changing. And she helped us figure out the best thing to do at every phase of that. And she took every single one of my phone calls, of my text messages, of my emails. There were 3 weeks there, I think, Babs, where we talked every single day for 3 weeks straight because we had to, and Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, enough. Enough.
I'm not done. And it wasn't just what she did. In true Dr. Waldman style, it was also how she did it. She was steady. She was thorough. She was a hell of a lot of fun. We also laughed a lot. And boy, oh boy, was she direct. And so I'm going to bookmark 2 stories together because they're some of my favorite Dr. Waldman stories. And I hope they'll make you laugh and also help me keeping from crying. The first time I met Dr. Waldman obviously was at my very first interview. And she asked the first question at that interview. She leaned in and she said, you're very young. And that was the question. That was the question. That was it. That was how she opened my very first interview. And I remember thinking, I don't know this woman, but I love her. And And my second favorite story is from pretty recently. And we were having one of our many impromptu chats about something that felt like a disaster in the moment. And I said to her, it's a real dumpster fire. And she said, a what? I said, a dumpster fire. And she goes, a what? And I said, a dumpster fire. And Emily then defined to her what a dumpster fire, which is hot garbage on fire. She goes, oh, you mean a shit show. And that was when we fused our generation's language together during what was a very stressful moment that Dr. Waldman brought humor and humility and joy. And, this has been a very, very hard year. And like many of you have said, the greatest joy and that you have found has been coming to community health. And Dr. Waldman has been a huge source of that joy for so many of us, and comfort and steadiness. And I mean, very much a lot to me, Dr. Waldman. We don't know, we didn't know each other this time last year hardly at all. And you are so important to me. And I know you're important to this organization. And thank you, thank you, thank you for everything.
Okay, here we go. Being direct. This organization is the sum of its parts. And the thing that I was thinking before, this is totally threw me off. There's so many people that I don't know who are amazing, like amazing. And they just do all this work and I don't know them, and they're part of they make it happen. And I love you dearly, Steph, and I think you're amazing. And I was your strongest advocate at the yeah, some of that, your factual thing, like Emily really does the work. I just go, so that's not fair. But in any case, without dragging on, this has been just obviously one crisis after another. And I am just incredibly proud of it's the volunteers, it's the staff, it's the weaving together of those. I mean, what other place has such a tight connection between staff and volunteers that work together well? And if you notice, a lot of the volunteers, what they were talking about were the staff, and what the staff were talking about are the volunteers. So in any case, let's wrap it up before we all gush over, and let's all carry on. This coming year is, there'll be tons of new challenges, but I know we are just so well that we will face them with grace, with competency, with resiliency, and we're all going to do a great job. And we have done an amazing job taking care of people that really, really would have been just so left out in the cold without community health. And I'm really grateful to be part of it. And everyone, go enjoy your families, and we'll see you the next time. So thank you. I appreciate the honor, but I feel like I want to throw it back to everybody else.